Now, have you ever been to a swampy place? A place where houses are absorbing water. Like now look at this house. The house is absorbing water and the wall is peeling off. A place where even churches are absorbing water and the walls are peeling off and then they have to do repairs. A place where swamps have made even maize cannot grow well. Mind in Arabica, the maize have turned color. Instead of being green, they look yellowish, and it's not even, there's no maize on this maize stalk, okay? Have you ever been to a place where even schools are absorbing water, but people are staying here because it is an ancestral land? My friends, welcome to a place called Mushinaaka. Welcome to a place called Mushinaaka. This is located in Kakamega County, Khwisero sub-county in Kenya. The reason why this place looks like this and you never hear about it is because it is of little national significance and people rarely complain about it, by the way, on social media. You will never hear any other content creator or even in the news, you will never hear that there is a place called Mushinaaka, a swampy place, a place where people are struggling to adapt to the unfairness of water that is being absorbed here. It cannot flow. Now, I usually visit this place to unwind because it is cool and there are no people. So it is a place where you cannot get disturbance after you have finished your work. But I'm usually very careful because I must be careful where I step. If I walk carelessly, I can sink into this swamp, okay? Because this place is a depression. In our Luya language, we call it Rivanda. Rivanda is a place that is depressed. It goes down and you cannot go past this place down. This is the downest, if such a word exists, the downest place you can ever be from different directions. So when water comes down here, it must be absorbed. Water cannot go to any other place. There is no any other downhill where water can go. Maji inakuja hapa and it must be absorbed in the ground. So when you put drainage here, you are doing zero work because water cannot go anywhere. Water comes here, it becomes stagnant and it must be absorbed. That is why you don't see people here, because this place is unlivable. So when you visit here, the first thing you see is an empty land. An empty land, a very big empty land, and you start wondering, why are there no people here? You should not wonder, because children don't play here because it's a swamp. You can just see cows grazing here because that is the only thing they can use this land for. Cows to graze during the dry season, and when the rain comes, kila mtu anatoka hapa. Everybody goes back to their homes because this place is virtually unlivable. You cannot live here. And this place gives me peace of mind, as I told you, and when I come here, to avoid the risk of sinking, because if I come here and I walk carelessly, I can sink. But I like coming here. So when I come here, these people have made some paths near the trenches. Wametengeneza njia alafu wamechimba mtaro, okay? So hii mitaro, these trenches are the ones that absorb, it's like they absorb the water and then they transport it to another large water body. So maji inatoka hapa inaenda to River Yala. Are we in agreement? So when they do this, you can now find dry places to walk. But unatembea kwa njia, you walk on this path, but besides you can see we have some kind of a trench with a lot of water. So if you slip, ukiteleza tu kidogo, you will fall in a swamp. As you walk, you realize that houses should not be built here. In this kind of an environment where we have a swamp, you notice that houses should not be built here. But when you reach here, you realize that this is the ancestral land of some people and they must build houses. So one of the houses that you can spot easily is this beautiful house that someone erected here. They don't stay here because the house is peeling off already. Look down there. The house is already peeling off because of the swamp. And down there, it is very cold. So if you stay inside this house, it is actually very uncomfortable and very cold because of this swampy area that brings a lot of coldness in this house. So the owner of this house erected this house here to protect the land, not to stay here. And then they relocated to the city. So when they are in the city, they just say that I have a house at home. But when they come home, they can't live here for long because the house is cold, it is unlivable, and it's actually peeling off. Nobody stays here, by the way. You can even see the land here. There's a lot of grass. Children cannot play here because they can sink in this swamp. Now, as you walk, you realize that other houses are also absorbing water, but I was not allowed to take the video of other houses. And when people tell you not to take the video of their homesteads, you have to respect them. Lazima uwaheshimu, because you can land into legal problems. But as I was walking from this homestead, ukielekea kwa njia huko, you meet churches and houses that have absorbed water until you start wondering, how do these people live? Like for example, ukikuja kwa hii kanisa hapa, this church absorbed a lot of water until it was nearly falling. It had started peeling off down there. Unaona pale chini. So church members realized that they made a mistake with this church. They built this church without a waterproofing membrane. We usually call it a damp-proof membrane. Sio karatasi. Unajua huku kwetu watu wanaita karatasi. They call it a paper, but it's not a paper. In engineering, or for those people who build houses, they call it a damp-proof membrane. So they built this church without a damp-proof membrane, and the church is absorbing a lot of water, and it peeled off, and they had to repair. Do you see down there? So they have to build another church again. Now you see this church, they have to put here a waterproofing membrane so that it can absorb water. Now ukiangalia hii kanisa hapa, when you look at the church here, it has absorbed water up to where the membrane is. Now from there upwards, the church has not absorbed water, so they will be safer here. Now, if you want to understand the extent of damage that it has done to other buildings, you look at this latrine. This latrine was built without that waterproofing membrane, and it is already absorbing water, and it can even fall off when you are inside, because this place is swampy. It has even grown molds. So they may have to build another latrine to avoid this one falling off because of absorption of that waterness. Now, the unfairness of the water of the swamp is also affecting other houses. Kama nyumba za matope hii yenye unaona. Wakati unaboma hii nyumba, what happens is hii matope inaanza kuanguka. It starts falling off. And the risk is the house can also fall off. And it starts from down here. Now you can see this house, it started from down here. Na haijajengwa kitambo. This is a very recent house. Na haijajengwa kitambo. So what they have to do is to keep on putting mud there. Lazima walete, wanachimba hapo mchanga, unaona hapa, then they bring here, and then it will fall off, and then rainwater will wash it away, and then they have to redo it again. Just look at how people are living here. Now, you wonder why crops look like this. Maize, look at that maize. Sometimes you wonder if these people really benefit from their land in terms of agricultural production. Because ukiangalia hii shamba, this maize looks like it is yellowish. And this maize is not thriving. So it will never even mature. And I wonder why they had to plant it, because it happens like this every season. They are just doing a gamble with this. One thing you don't know about swampy areas and agriculture is that swampy areas have clay soil that has compacted together because of this excessive water. But this soil is not good for farming. The main reason why this maize cannot thrive is the water logging that is caused by the combination of swampy ground and clay soil. So when the ground is swampy, these plants, when they are planted, now this is a botany na staki kuwa complicate sana. These plants usually need oxygen. Just like you need your oxygen to breathe, these plants also need oxygen. So when there is water down there, it is like water is suffocating the maize. Water suffocates the maize, and maize does not get adequate oxygen. That is why this maize cannot grow and thrive and mature, and people enjoy it. Now, apart from the water that is clogging pores that require oxygen, also the clay inakuja inafunga hii mahindi, alafu mahindi haipati oxygen ya kutosha, and when it fails to get enough oxygen, it also cannot thrive. So the combination of the water and the clay soil makes it worse for even other crops that require oxygen. That is why you cannot find anything that thrives here. And by the way, let me tell you something. Some people came here because they wanted to plant potatoes. They wanted to plant potatoes. So they were given this area, and they dug this place very well in preparation for planting potatoes. And then the rains came. So when the rains came, this whole area was water. It became a swamp. So when they came to check, they found out that they cannot even plant those potatoes. So they had to leave this place. So when you look at that place, you see that it is prepared to plant potatoes. But nobody can plant there anything, because when the rains come, that place will become waterlogged and it cannot thrive. Just like this maize, the plants will look like this. Now, the only plants that are thriving here are these plants. I don't know how they are called in your language, but in my language, they are called rikuku. In my language, they are called that name, but I don't know how they are called in your language. This plant, Likuku, possesses some special biological adaptations. These ones are designed for the swampy areas. That is why you see they are thriving very well. And they are not like maize that can be easily clogged and then they don't thrive. These plants have some open air channels, which maize does not have. So this is for botany, guys, and I don't want to go too much into this, but just know that in swampy areas, these are the plants that easily grow very well. Are we in agreement? So the best business that you can do here in a very swampy place, the best business that you can do is to put up a fish pond. And some fish ponds are actually here and they fill with water very fast because we have enough water, a lot of it by the way. So this water is flowing and the only thing they can do is that they make a fish pond and then they redirect this water to the fish pond. And then you can find your fish here. So some people get their fish from here, but I've never bought, but from my interaction with people from this place, they say that they get fish from this place. Now, one of the most surprising things wakati unatembea kwa hii mahindi, you will find fallen electric poles. Fallen electric poles. And these poles were actually supported. But what happened is that these poles decomposed. They decomposed down there. Zimeoza. What most of you don't know is that these poles are usually treated and they are very resistant to some of the effects that they see here. But when they come here because of the swampy area, these poles usually they decompose. Zinaoza huko chini, and when they decompose, they have to fall. So Kenya Power came up with this guy wire. This guy wire is very common when you are putting up a pole, and the guy wire is very good because it acts like a strong rope. It pulls against the weight of the power lines. It keeps the pole standing straight and it stops it from bending over or falling during bad weather. So haiwezi anguka. Ikiwekwa hapa na ishikilie pale chini, the pole cannot fall. But here you can see it fell down because of the swampy area and the clay soil, and ikitu ilioza na ikaanguka. And even we have others, like look at that one. Hey, that one has bees. That one has bees. Look there. That one has bees. And it looks like it has decomposed up to that point and it's just about to fall. So Kenya Power and Lighting Company have to come here regularly and check these poles and try to correct them, because it looks like this place cannot be favorable for this kind of poles. We have other poles like those ones that I think they used cement, the concrete ones. They have to bring them and use them here. But these ones, wooden poles, I don't think they are good because zitaoza na zitaanguka even if you support them using the guy wire. And do we have schools here? Yes, we have schools, and one of the schools is the Mushinaaka Comprehensive School. Hata ukiangalia, if you look at that gate, it's like the gate has absorbed water, okay? The gate has absorbed water and it can fall anytime. I would have gone to that school to show you the classes and how they have absorbed water, but I don't know if I will be allowed to take photos of that school. But just know that classrooms in that school have also absorbed water. And the surprising thing is that even that field is some kind of a swampy area, and when it falls, children have to be very careful because they can either fall or get diseases from that swamp. So they have to keep away. And let me demonstrate this to you so that you can understand. This is the fence of the school. This is the fence of the school, and besides the fence there is a trench with water. Unaona? Kuna mtaro kubwa hapa na maji, and this water gets absorbed. This water cannot go anywhere. As I told you, this place is a depression or river under. So this water cannot go anywhere. It remains stagnant here until the day it will be absorbed. So children cannot just jump around here. Despite the fact that we have a panya route that they use to go to the school, they cannot just play like that. So the only solution to this menace was to plant eucalyptus trees. Some people call them gum trees, and some of us call it eucalyptus trees. And these trees are very important because they absorb a lot of water. That is the only solution, because this water cannot be drained even by the government. You know, this is a very natural thing, and it's a very large area, a very large depression, and water must just get absorbed and it becomes clay soil. So the only solution is to plant trees that absorb a lot of water. And by the way, some of you don't know that a single eucalyptus tree, a single gum tree, can absorb up to 100 liters of water in a day. If you never knew that, know it from today. So you can imagine if you have like 1,000 trees, 1,000 eucalyptus or gum trees in this place, they can absorb a lot of water and the place can remain dry for people to live well here. That is why we have a lot of gum trees here. They absorb a lot of water because their aggressive roots soak up large amounts of water, and that water climbs up the tree, and then the tree releases the water in a process called transpiration. That is botany. I told you I don't want to go into those complicated places because some of you have low attention spans and you'll click away from this video if things become complicated. So the transpiration that happens in the leaves and the absorption of water is what effectively dries out this waterlogged land in Mushinaaka. That is why you see these trees in homesteads. Near homesteads, everywhere you will see gum trees, and these trees are very important because of that. So overall, my friends, nimewatembeza nyumbani. I have taken you in some part of my village. This is not my entire village. This is a section of my village, a depression where some people live, and it is their ancestral land, and they cannot run away from their ancestral land because we believe that you get blessings when you stay in your ancestral land. Young people from this place have gone to places like Nairobi where they expect to buy land, productive land that they can use for agriculture, they can use it for maybe residential areas and other things. But back home, things are thick. Churches are absorbing water, toilets are absorbing water, and the only thing they can do is to put fish ponds, and then they have this large and productive land. So thank you for staying with me up to this point. This is Gidia Kali. You can like this video and subscribe to this channel because I am bringing you more and more of such stories on this channel. Thank you, and may there be peace in your life.